Honorable members, at the proceedings, I'm honored and delighted and humbled to share with you the following information that was received to the Speaker's office regarding the following deployment of the honorable members in respect of their designated political parties to serve as follows. SWAPO has delegated Honorable Vehaka Herunga as the Chief Whip of the SWAPO party, deputized by Honorable Paula Kuoper as a deputy. IPC, Independent Patriots for Change, has designated Honorable Emmanuel Ims Nashinge, who will serve as the leader of the official opposition. 2, Honorable Rodney Klute as their Chief Whip, and Honorable Berta Ngifikwa as the Deputy Chief Whip. Pardon me for pronunciation. The affirmative repositioning has designated Honorable Job Amupanda, who will serve as leader of AR party, and Honorable Vaino Angula as their Chief Whip. Popular Democratic Movement PDM has designated Honorable McHenry Venari will serve as the leader of PDM party. Honorable Diedrich Fries will serve as the Chief Whip, and Honorable Rosa Mbinge Shionda will serve as their Deputy Chief Whip. Landless People Movement LPM has designated Honorable Bernardo Swarpe who will serve as the leader of LPM, and Honorable David Christian Aiku as the Chief Whip. United Democratic Front UDF has designated Honorable Hendrik Gaubay who will serve as the leader of UDF, and Honorable Nico Somaev who will serve as the Chief Whip. All People's Party has designated Honorable Ambrosius Kumbwa who will serve as leader and Chief Whip of the APP party. The Body of Christ has designated Honorable Festus Thomas who will serve as leader and Chief Whip of the Body of Christ party. National Democratic Party NDP has designated Honorable Martin Lukato who will serve as leader and Chief Whip of the NDP party. The Namibia Economic Freedom Fighters NEF has designated Honorable Lolingis Priest Ipumbu who will serve as leader and Chief Whip of the NEF party. The Republican Party has designated Honorable Matthias Mbundu who will serve as leader and Chief Whip of RP. National Unity Democratic Party NUDO has designated Honorable Veture Kandorondu Vetaruhe Kandorondu who will serve as leader and Chief Whip of the NUDO party. Southwest Africa National Union has designated Honorable Evalistus Karonda Cakes Karonda who will serve as leader and Chief Whip of the Swano party. With this House, I wish to congratulate you all for your respective designation and wish you all the best. So I declare. Any other petitions? Any other reports and papers? Notices of question? Honorable Negundi.
Honorable Deputy Speaker, I lay upon the table the Ministry of Works and Transport annual report for the financial year 2023-2024.
Thank you very much. Could kindly table the report. Any other motions? Message from the head of state? Questions? Notices of questions? Honorable McHenry.
First and foremost, allow me to welcome you in your seat, and the steps that you are taking are very serious. Congratulations. I want to congratulate my young brother who is taking after me to be the new leader of the official opposition. wish you all best, and may democracy grow from strength to strength. Honorable Deputy Speaker, I rise under Rule 135 to ask is it 135? Asking an urgent oral question to the Right Honorable Prime Minister of the Republic of Namibia, Dr. Elias Tungangurare, the GDT man.
I'm waiting to get the gist of it.
The gist of it. Fondest of memories to Peter Kashaviri.
Before I rule it to sustain or not.
Right Honorable Prime Minister, we are reading in the print and electronic media that the cabinet, your cabinet, has veered off from an established rule of running state-owned enterprises. State-owned enterprises are run by virtue of corporate governance rules, King's reports, whereby the boards of those institutions are the ones responsible for the recruitment of chief executive officer. With MIDCO, we are seeing a veering off from government, from state corporate policy, where government is directing the boards to appoint a particular person, whereas the board has started with the recruitment process. I want to know from you as leader of government, business, and Prime Minister of our Republic, what is so special about this individual? Why is MIDCO handpicking or cabinet handpicking a CEO for MIDCO without the board's input? Why is this individual whose term of office has come to an end not getting into the race of fair competition to make sure that he competes with all the other people that are applying for the job? Why is government so hastily trying to bring this person? What is behind this appointment, and why veering off from the corporate governance rules that govern state-owned enterprises in the country?
Yeah, having taken the gist, I don't dismiss the fact that the question is of paramount importance. But what I say is it has been all around in the media. I think we need, and the Namibian public needs fair and proper and just concise answers. In that scope, according to my discretion, does not fall under the predictness of being declared oral urgent question. But it's still a question of paramount importance, and I will therefore urge you, my brother, just to reduce it in writing. Moving forward, we are doing these things for our future, so that the Hansard, your question and the Hansard, can tomorrow serve as a guiding document. That this was the question, this is the written response to that particular important question. So on that score, I would really say the question is of paramount importance, but I don't feel it fall under the category of being urgent. Thank you very much. Okay. Okay, next question, notices of motion. Question, maybe also you must sit behind the small man, because I don't see the green light. Come again? I don't see it. Yeah. That's what I'm saying, maybe rearrangement. Laughter is needed also in the house, isn't it? Okay. Honorable Kanguru.
Okay, thank you so much. Congratulations and welcome to the hot seat. Make it cold. He's new there. This is very urgent, straightforward. To Ms. Steenkamp, Honorable Steenkamp, this is for you. Minister of Education, Youth, Sport, Arts and Culture. There are learners who missed to register for final exam due to the fact that institutions such as NAMCOL, their closing date was on the 28th February. As a result, the learners did not have money again for exam registration that was due on the 7th of March. Honorable Minister, your youth, your learners, are now in catch-22 situation of not knowing what will happen to them this year. They are requesting for the extension of exam registration up to the 21st of May 2025. On the next one, I hereby give a notice that on Thursday...
No. I thought you first ask a urgent question.
Oh, okay, okay. She will come in.
Yeah, that's why I think that one, in terms of my, yeah, could be wrong, but yeah, given the authority that I'm given, I think maybe for the audience and due to the registration, it's a fair question to at least request a response on that one. And then you can follow with the oral written ones. Honorable Steenkamp.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chairperson, and also thank you for the question.
Just wait, yeah, okay.
Thank you very much for the concern expressed. First and foremost, we publish very well in advance the dates for registration. There are two kinds of registration. The first one is only for tuition for the subjects, and then there's due grace given for examination registration. Now, the reason why we have time-bound registration is because of all the due diligence and all the processes that needs to be followed with the exams. There's the registration, then there's the vetting, and then the verification process. So it's a whole process that is time-bound, and that one decision to not stick to the registration times really affects, and we cannot at this given point postpone the registration for examinations until the 28th of May.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Just wait. Just wait. Okay.
Honorable Deputy Speaker, I just want to ask a procedural issue. How do we apply Rule 135.4 in that it designates only 20 minutes to oral agent questions? How do we manage that? Because it only provides for 20 minutes. Rule 135.4. How do we manage that in order to ensure that we comply with the rule?
125.
135.4. 135.4. It prescribes only for 20 minutes each day of agent questions.
Yeah, I think, Honorable Minister, I don't want to create this, and I think those are the discretionary powers the presiding officer is. But two, let us, since we are all learning, we are all new, even, we are all new. Okay, me, I'm new. Let me speak on my behalf. Me, I'm new. And I'm also new in the 8th Parliament, because the 7th Parliament does not carry over. That's why a term of office of a politician is 5 years. Yeah, and there are new rules. Now the rule says circumstances not provided for. If in anything the rules are ambiguous or does not provide for, then rule number 8 gives the guidance. Yeah. So now it is upon the presiding officer to look 20 minutes, but really does it make harms if we just go over to 22 minutes, 25? That's it. There's a borderline there. But not to eat up on the time. I think if it's a matter, we'll establish the required institutions and committees, standing rules and orders, and therefore we can expatriate it there. But I think as for my call, I think in terms of where there is ambiguity and misunderstanding, the rule number 8 provides it that then the Speaker makes a ruling, and that ruling remains in effect until challenged in the House or the standing rules. Honorable Kandorundu.
Yeah, thank you so much. I hereby give a notice that on Thursday, 25th of April this year, I shall ask the Prime Minister, Right Honorable Elia Shitungangurare, the following questions. Right Honorable Prime Minister, Namibia has received significant rainfall above average in many parts of the country, something we did not experience over the years. While some parts of the country experience good rain, some other parts still need to get above average. Right Honorable Prime Minister, having said that, even though we receive good rain, More than the past years, the past is still haunting us because of the drought our farmers have experienced over a very long period where they lost quite a significant number of livestock due to drought. As a result, the government has allocated budget to help ease the burden of the farmers they have carrying over the years of drought to assist the surviving stock to take them to the next season, which is this year's season. As a result, the government have declared 2023-2024 years as drought-stricken years, with extension up to 2026 in a recent announcement. Subsequently, the Prime Minister's office was supposed to implement the subsidy program by helping farmers with different incentives as per different categories set by Cabinet. The office of the Prime Minister has kept the farmers on hostage, not thinking that the farmers need this money to help them buy fodder and leeks, vaccine, and some do restocking, those who got enough rain and enough grass for additional livestock. But the office of the Prime Minister is sleeping on duty, disregarding that there are farmers out there who need money. After the drought, the very same farmer who were left with small number of livestock, they have been attacked by Labi skin disease and killed the remaining animal who survived the drought. As I'm writing now, there is no auction taking place in many parts of Namibia due to Labi skin disease. As a result, farmers have no means of survival financially. The funds that's supposed to help them is being deliberately kept at Prime Minister's office, not considering the plight of the farmers, forgetting the significant role agriculture plays in terms of contributing to GDP and job creation. I want to ask the following questions. What is the total budget allocated to the drought subsidy? How was this subsidy paid? How many farmers have been benefited? And how many are still to benefit from those who submitted their claims during 2023 and 2024 and 2024-2025 financial year respectively? Why does it take more than 6 months to pay a farmer who are in a drought-prone area or region who submitted their subsidy claims on time at respective extension offices of the Ministry of Agriculture, Fisheries, Water and Land Reform? How many months must one farmer wait to receive his or her money or subsidy, and why can't the Prime Minister's office make waiting period at a minimum of 1 month and a maximum of 3 months? How many staff complement do you have to assess the claims and to process the payment? What is the waiting period of a subsidy from the Ministry of Agriculture for verification that all the papers are in order? And what is the standard waiting period of payment from the Prime Minister's office? Why can't the Prime Minister's office recruit interns that have graduated from the high institutions to help speed up the process of subsidy payment? When will the Prime Minister's office going to decentralize the payment of drought subsidies to the regional councils? I thank you.
Kindly submit your name. Honorable Motu.
Thank you very much, Deputy Speaker. Honorable Deputy Speaker, I hereby give notice that on Thursday, the 25th of April 2025, I shall ask the Minister of Home Affairs, Immigration, Safety and Security, Honorable Lucia Ipumbu, on the increasing violence, rape and murder committed against children in our country. Honorable Minister, recently we have seen reports of a 5-year-old from Okahanja who was brutally raped and killed in the most gruesome way. She's not the only victim. There are reports such as the 8-month-old Simone Roy, as well as the disappearance of Spencer Nakale in December of 2020. These are not the only cases. There are many other more. Honorable Minister, these acts are not isolated incidences, as they reflect the deeper systematic issues and structural violence that continues to plague our society. They also point to a broader institutional failure to ensure a safe and secure environment for our children. I therefore ask the following. Number one, what are the specific steps that the ministry has or is going to take to ensure that there is a thorough investigation in the rape and murder of the 5-year-old Ingrid, considering the family's expressed frustrations over the perceived police inaction? Number two, does the ministry have established protocol for evaluating and acting upon testimonies from child witnesses in criminal investigations, and were these protocols followed in the case of Ingrid? Number three, recently the Namibian police acknowledged their limited progress in solving high-profile murder cases. What measures is the ministry implementing to improve transparency and to keep the public informed about ongoing investigations? And finally, considering increasing violence against children, what preventative strategies is the ministry going to deploy to ensure child safety, particularly in school environments and public spaces? I so submit.
Okay. Honorable Imvula, yeah.
Honorable Speaker, thank you. Please qualify my oral question as an urgent one. Thank you very much. All right, the oral question that I have is to the Honorable Minister of Education, Honorable Steenkamp. There is a circular released on the 14th of March 2025 regarding an issue of vaccination of the
HPV.
children age 14, or between 9 and 14, below the age of 14 per se. And these are girls in schools. And this vaccination is is against the human papilloma virus, or HPV. And the agency is that the vaccinations are planned to be rolled out as from the 2nd of June 2025. Now the question is, Honorable Minister, we had experiences with vaccines before, and this vaccination or vaccine is of utmost importance because it prevents civic cancer. Now the question is, has there been any sensitization campaign rolled out prior to the instruction of this vaccine to be rolled out at schools as from June the 2nd to the 9th or so? I myself is a father of 3 daughters, and I would be very concerned the same way members of the community have registered their concerns, and also the misinformation. Thank you very much.
Very good.
Okay. Honorable Sanet Steenkamp. Maybe it's the red that makes me to look you out.
Thank you very much, Honourable Speaker. Honourable Member, thank you for the question. Indeed, a crucial matter. I wish to state that with the Ministry of Health and Social Services, our ministry are having certain policies and agreements in place. So the health education takes place with our nurses in the areas, along with our life skills teachers. I also wish to state that we take note that the age group is 9 to 14, as you rightly stated, and indeed it is an important matter. Wishing to add to that our sexual debut for our children is less than 13 years old. That's their first sexual debut, and mostly it's through coercive sexual intercourse and not consent. So it is a serious matter. However, I also wish to state that seeing that we are working in close collaboration with the Ministry of Health and Social Services, continuous rollout and engagement will be taking place within our schools, within the circuit offices, and we will gladly provide you with a time frame for that to take place. However, it still remains the responsibility of a parent whether he or she wishes for the child to be vaccinated, and we will also respect that. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Honorable Mupanda. Oh, follow. Oh, sorry. So now it becomes difficult. Yeah.
All right, thank you, Honorable Minister. The question remains, have there been any sensitization campaigns rolled out? Thank you.
Just, I think the honorable member is not objecting to the rollout and the injection, I don't know, of HPV, but he's asking what was the pre-mediating measures that was taken before the announcement of the process, of the injection process. Yes, I was just trying to, yeah.
Honourable Member, this is a collaboration between the Ministry of Health and the Ministry of Education. And we also acted upon that collaboration agreement that we have. So I think, to be fair, let me also go back to the Ministry of Health and get clear information for you, seeing that you're persisting, because that was issued on the 14th of March. We are now 1 month later. It's only a month, and the vaccination campaign is starting off in June, not today. Thank you very much,
Thank you.
Mr. Chairperson.
Okay, we'll step off. The question was put, the answer is given. If it's not satisfied, no, please listen. Eh? You want to answer? Okay, no, I did not see you, mate. So that you don't see me, I only check this side. I don't. Honorable Minister, please.
All right. Thank you very much for the floor, Deputy Speaker. Thank you for the question. I was also a little bit confused when it was simply posed at the Minister of Education. I do feel that probably more Minister of Health, key stakeholder, with partners such as the Minister of Education and the rest of the stakeholders. Thank you very much, Honourable Minister, for attempting to answer that very well, mind you. I wish to answer this by saying that, number one, HPV, as you've mentioned, is something to be taken very seriously. There's a lot of misinformation, and you've pointed it rightly. There's still a lot of anti-vaxxers. And even when we went to Katima for World Health Day and we made the announcement, there was a lot of pushback. But mind you, there are a lot of countries that have embraced it, and they've seen a drastic reduction in the number of people that have now been diagnosed with cervical cancer. So it's a proven, number one, a proven technique. Number two, it is a technique that other countries have also taken up. And so it is important to remember that Namibia is not the first one to take this up. And the fourth part is that we must emphasize the importance of educating our parents. And that is partly to answer your question, what has been actively done. Because of the age group, you cannot go to a child at a school and say, I will vaccinate you without the permission of the parent. And so the key target there in terms of pre-education prior to the announcement has been parents. Educating parents, number one, in terms of parents' evenings, in terms of information sensitization, of which, together with our stakeholders, like the World Health Organization, have been able to put together educative material. Also, mind you, that we pointed out this material must not only be in English, because it is not only the people in the capital city that must be educated, and therefore the education material now being translated into various languages to ensure that we not only focus on Windhoek or Commerce region, we focus on all the other regions, and we make sure that we reach that parent in the rural area that does not have access to watch this today, that does not have access to watch television on a regular basis, and to give them the opportunity to understand why the vaccine is important, how you contract it, and why it is important that their child must be vaccinated. I hope that answers the question.
Honorable Ampanda.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. Firstly, as a shadow Deputy Speaker, I just want to alert you.
There is no shadow. I think you are a professor. You speak proper English, my brother.
Yeah. I just want to alert you that I noticed that we do have former members of Parliament in the House who also founded our Constitution. I saw Honorable Pendukeni and others. I can't see. And so as a shadow speaker, yeah, so on your behalf as a shadow deputy speaker, we welcome them. Yeah, Speaker, in terms of 135, I want to ask an urgent and very important oral question to the minister responsible for police, that what do we do with members of the public, particularly journalists, who sit up there and take photos of us when we are looking down, and they tell the public that we are sleeping in Parliament. So what are we going? It's very urgent, so we need to deal with this matter. Because some of us never slept in this Parliament, and we need to do something about it.
Okay. I think, thank you. I think that one falls in the very first question. So it's now the chance to Honorable Kudi. Am I pronunciation?
No,
Kodi.
it's Kodi.
Kodi.
Yes.
Thank you. Sorry.
Okay. Honorable Deputy Speaker, honorable members, I hereby give notice on Wednesday, 24 April 2025. I shall ask the Minister of Health and Social Services, Honorable Esperance Lubindao, on the current state of the public health facilities in Namibia. The condition of government-run hospitals and clinics remain deeply concerning, with many facilities in a dilapidated state, lacking proper sanitation, reliable electricity, and safe infrastructure. Numerous health centers are overcrowded, poorly equipped, and unable to deliver timely care due to lack of professional nurses, pharmacists, doctors, persistent shortage of critical medicine, malfunctioning equipment, and the absence of modern diagnostic tools. Despite the constitutional obligation under Article 95 of the Namibian Constitution to provide adequate public health services, the reality reflects systematic neglect and worsening inequality in healthcare access, especially under under-resourced regions such as Kavango East, Kavango West, Zambezi, Kunene, Ohangwena, Hardap, and Karas. Namibian Statistic Agency Health and Social Services Report, Annual Report for 2023-2024. Therefore, I will ask the following to the Minister. What urgent measures is the Ministry implementing to rehabilitate state-run hospitals and clinics, particularly in regions where infrastructure have become hazardous to both patients and health workers? Number two, can the Minister provide a detailed regional breakdown of current medical staff shortages and outline the recruitment and retention strategy for public health care workers? Number three, what steps are being taken to improve the availability and supply chain of essential medicines and medical consumables across all state facilities? Number four, has the Minister conducted recent service delivery audits or patient satisfactory service in public hospitals, and what finding or reform have emerged from the assessment? Lastly, what long-term investment plans are in place to align Namibia's public health system with universal health coverage goals and sustainable development goals 3 commitments, particularly regarding infrastructure, human capital, and digital health integration? I so submit.
Mr. your question. Okay, I just want to make a small announcement going forward. I must thank the Deputy Prime Minister for notifying me that Honorable Mvula Itana is in the House. Since we started, I did not take notice, but the Deputy... No, just listen. This is a matter of procedure. We are here to assist each other. The Deputy Prime Minister notified me. When we started, I did not take notice. Since the paper came, and I like the technology, footnote can be seen, we are busy with questions. Now, in order not to interrupt the questions, the presiding officer was of the intent, if we finish that particular process of questions, I was then formally going to acknowledge her. And I think it's best that when you pick up something, to notify the presiding officer, because I'm saying, here's the paper, here's the handwriting of the Deputy Prime Minister, thank you very much, but it was because we are in a process of questions, not to interrupt that flow, you allow to finish that particular item, and then you can make an announcement. So as the Deputy Speaker, a pioneer of our country, acting Speaker English, but as the presiding officer, may I wholeheartedly welcome you and also thank you for taking the time just to come and listen. It's a testimony for us that us even who are here, we are living for that eventuality. We are here, tomorrow we might not be here, others must be here. But we must take keen interest in each. No, I'm giving credit to the Deputy Prime Minister. The notification was here. As I said, I just did not want to interrupt members who are asking questions. I thought we were busy with an item, and that's why I wanted to conclude the questions to make the announcement before we go to the next item. That was my thinking. And that's why I'm saying if anybody picks up something, at best, just notify the presiding officer. It might be that you are already aware, but you don't want to interrupt the flow of the conversation as it unfolds. Notices of motions, messages of the head of state, ministerial statements. It now brings us to the order of the day. The Secretary will read the order of the day.
Option of debate on second reading, appropriation bill.
When the Assembly adjourned on Thursday, the 10th of April, the year of 2025, the question before the Assembly was a motion by the Honourable Minister of Finance that the bill be read the second time. No one adjourned the debate, so that the floor is now open to any members of the House, so as the time allocated today of the following political parties: IPC 30, LPM 10, NDP 10, RP 10, and SWAPO 105. But I think we must add something, if I recall, just to set the parameters. The Speaker was saying new members, debate is 10. But if it's a maiden speech, there is +5, isn't it? So I just want, even though I was reading verbatim, but my recollection is saying, if it's an old member, it's 10. If it's a new member, sorry, I don't have proper English. Well, new. Yeah, but within that definition of old and new, if it's the newest in the 8th Parliament, it's 15. If it's a continuation member, it's 10. We are in agreement. I just wanted to say that. So I'll now give the floor to Honorable, if I'm correct here on my screen, Coetzee. Under certain circumstances.
Good afternoon, Honourables. Honourable Speaker, Honourable esteemed members of the Oakers House, I'm pleased to announce my presence in the Oakers House as a newly elected member of the 8th Parliament of the Republic of Namibia, representing the mighty SWAPO party. My name is Clemencia Coetzee, coming from the South, Karas region, more specific from Karasburg East constituency. Being a businesswoman for over 15 years and a people's person, I can only thank God Almighty for granting me this opportunity to serve the Namibian nation on this platform. Thanks to my father, the late Edward Mogobeb, a staunch SWAPO party member and a war veteran, who taught me at a very young age to be steadfast and who instilled in me the unwavering will to never surrender. Thank you, my dear father. Your voice is no more to be heard, but you will forever be in my heart. Secondly, let me thank the late Honourable Muti Hanse Himarwa, whom I start my political career with at a young tender age of 17 in Aranos. May her beloved soul rest in eternal peace. Honorable Speaker, Honorable Member, I wish to pour out my deep respect to the SWAPO party for being the liberating force and the ruling party which govern our country. The SWAPO party granted me this opportunity of public service because it stands as a liberation vehicle that brings unity and progressive change to Namibia. Throughout my time in office, I will uphold the values of the party dedicated to inclusivity and development, which developed me into a person that I am today. I present my maiden speech before this August House with the firm grasp for the realities experience of our people. The three most critical matters needing emergency response, including unemployment, education, housing, which directly affect survival of our citizens. Honorable Speaker, Honorable Member, unemployment persists by breaking down the aspiration of young people as it blocks national advancement. The southern region, alongside several other Namibian areas, matters the pattern where youthful people possess work readiness with specific abilities ready to work, yet they encounter an unresponsive job market. This situation will be tackled through the purposeful and targeted approach as announced by the President, Dr. Netumbo Nandi-Ndaitwah. As we Namibians, particularly as the SWAPO members, we shall go out of our way to support and work hand in glove with our President, Dr. Netumbo Nandi-Ndaitwah, to make sure that she succeed in their quest to make Namibia even better. Through the SWAPO manifesto, our President has clearly articulated her vision, which today has been married with the NDP6 to make sure that the lives of the Namibians are improved. Therefore, Namibian path towards successful development depends on using complete capacity of human resources. It is essential for us to dedicate ourselves right now to developing sustainable solutions which will improve everyday existence of Namibian people. I am therefore happy to know that the new Minister of Finance, Honorable Erika Safuta, is directing the bulk of funding towards developing sectors which so promise, including agriculture, farming, fishing, as well as tourism and logistics, together with renewable energy sources. These sectors need expansion both inside urban regions, in the entire rural area territories to uplift the lives of ordinary Namibians. Namibia possesses latent resources which need proper development strategies through collaboration between public and private entities. Together with strategic planning, Namibia can further develop farming and grow livestock export while enhancing solar and wind power systems, which have started to create new economic opportunities and jobs. Skills and training, technical and vocational levels need to be adapted programs which respond to professional sector requirements. Technological certificates will be replaced by educational programs that teach real skills which help students to develop competitive capacities to produce and innovate. The development of entrepreneurship needs strong backing, which includes financial backing. Otherwise, such entrepreneurial undertakings may not yield satisfactory results. What I know is that our people, as proud nation, seek employment opportunities together with possibilities for growth and hence. I believe that the SWAPO manifesto will successfully address these challenges. Through collaborative teamwork, we can build Namibia into a nation that gives employment status as a basic entitlement to all our citizens, according to my belief as a mother. Education. Honorable Speaker, honorable members, education is and has always been a cornerstone of our nation's development. Since our independence, the ruling party has demonstrated a clear and unwavering commitment to expanding educational access across Namibia. We have seen more schools built, more learners enrolled, and significant progress in teacher training and curriculum reform. These are achievements we must recognize and celebrate. However, even as we acknowledge this progress, we must also confront the challenges that remain. In more villages, many learners still travel long distance to attend school. This administration is committed to making a big difference with a vision for truly inclusive Namibia to become reality. Education is a great equalizer. It is a bridge between where a child is and where the dreams can take them. It is the single most important investment we can make to reduce poverty, empower future generations, and shape a resilient economy. When we neglect this investment, we risk extinguishing the very hope that drives our children forward. Honorable Speaker, Honorable Member, the policy groundwork has been laid. Now let us strengthen it together. Let us honor the promise of independence by ensuring that every Namibian child, no matter where they are born, has access to quality education, dignity in classrooms, and future filled with opportunity. Education is the heartbeat of any nation development, and Namibia is no exception. Since gaining independence, our country, under the leadership of the ruling party, has made commendable strides in transforming education sector. Classrooms that were once few and far between now dot to every region. More children than ever before attending school, and more Namibians are gaining qualifications that were once beyond reach. These are gains we must recognize with pride. They are the evidence of government that has placed education at the core of the development agenda. And yet, even with this progress, we are reminded daily that our journey is not yet complete. The presence of this challenge is not a sign of a failure. It is a sign of potential still to be unlocked. It is a reminder that our educational mission is a living one that calls us all to act with compassion, with urgency, and with deep belief to promise of every Namibian child. Honorable Speaker, honorable members, education is merely a government program. It is a national imperative. It is a tool through which equalize opportunity, reduce poverty, and ignite the dreams of a future generation. It is the single most important investment we can make to save better Namibia. Thank you. It is the single most powerful investment we can make to save a better, smarter, and more prosperous Namibia. We must now rally together to finish the work that has been started. Our task now is to build stronger classrooms, equip learners with tools they need, empower the teachers to inspire the kids. Let us commit from this house that we will leave no learner behind, that the condition in which a child born shall never determine the limits of their dreams. Honorable Speaker, honorable member, I would like to touch on housing, or should I say shelter. Housing is not just about shelter. It is a foundation upon which dignity, security, and opportunity are built. And today, while Namibia continues to progress in many areas of development, we must acknowledge that access to housing remains one of the most pressing challenges. But let me say this, it is not a challenge we are powerless against. It is a call to action, a change to transform lives, and it is a challenge that gives government under the leadership of the ruling party has already begun to address through land reform, urban development strategies, and national housing initiatives. Yet, more remains to be done. Honorable member, a home is not luxury, it is a human right. It provides emotional stability for children to study, the physical space for mother to nurture their newborns, and the peace of mind for families to build a future. Without it, people are trapped in cycle of poverty that limits education, employment, and health. Therefore, we must now accelerate the delivery of the affordable and inclusive housing across Namibia. Let us embrace bold, innovative models such as rent-to-own schemes, corporate housings, and land subsidies. Let us explore climate-resilient and cost-effective building technologies to preserve both affordability and durability. We must cut through the red tape and empower our local authorities with the resources, flexibility, and decision-making autonomy economy to design housing solutions that can reflect the realities of their communities. Service lane delivery must be fast-tracked. Urban planning must speak to the lived experience of our low-income residents. Let us be clear. A house is more than four walls. It is a launchpad for the better life. It is where dreams begin and where futures are shaped. And in building homes, we are building stronger, more just, and more united Namibia. Together, let us work towards a nation where every citizen, regardless of income, can lay their head down at night in safety, security, and in dignity. Let us make sure that our shared goal, let us turn the hope of housing into the reality of home. In conclusion, Honourable Speaker, Honourable Member, as I rise in the chamber for the first time, I do so not merely as a member of Parliament, but as a voice for the many Namibians whose stories are seldom heard. I carry with me the life experience of a mother and graduates. These are not statistics to me. They are my people I know. They are my neighbors, my community, my daily reality. They are the heartbeat of Namibia, and they are the reason that I'm here today. We must make democracy real and tangible in the lives of our people. That means ensuring that our accents are felt not just within these walls, but in every township, every village, every farm, and every home. Our work must translate into stronger schools, safer communities, more jobs, and dignified lives. I commit myself fully to this cause. I will serve with humility, but also with courage. I will remain rooted in the realities of those who place their trust in me. I will listen more than I speak, and I will fight for progress that I can be seen, touched, and loved, especially for my nation, who have entrusted me with the profound responsibility. Let us ensure that our presence in the House is a source of delight, not just for debate. Let us be builders of hope, champions of change, and servants of the Namibian people, no matter where they live or what their income is. At the end, Honourable Speaker, Honourable Members, let us service be defined not by words, but by the impact we leave behind. A better Namibia for all. So I submit. I thank you.
Thank you, honourable members. I think we've got 2 to 3 minutes to break. I'm requesting us to break so that I engage with the selection committee for the feedback as we have agreed in our meeting yesterday. So I
Hardap region is a vast land of untapped investment opportunities and epic
Thank you. Welcome back, honorable members. The next honorable member to take the floor is Honorable Willem Amutenya. Maiden speech.
Oh, thank you. Now, Honorable Deputy Speaker, honorable members, I rise in accordance with Rule 91. Therefore, allow me to introduce myself to the esteemed Assembly, which I regard as a parliament of hope and conviction, and through you to the entire Namibian nation. So, Honorable Speaker, honorable members, and the Namibian people, my name is Willem Amutenya, a born child of the liberation struggle, born in Lubango, Angola, and hailing from Ihongo village in Oshikoto region. I am a product of student politics, groomed by the University of Namibia, where I pursued my honors degree in education. I have served my country at various levels as a secondary school teacher, a university lecturer, and as an administrator both at university and government levels. I'm also a farmer and an entrepreneur. I'm deeply passionate about youth affairs, education, entrepreneurship, agricultural economics, and rural development, as I'm both a product and a proud dweller of a rural village. I serve as a member of SWAPO Party Central Committee, as well as the SWAPO Party Youth League Central Committee. I'm truly honored and excited to sit in this august house alongside the giants who have led the very institutions and systems that nurtured and shaped my political career. I make special mention of the Right Honorable Prime Minister, Dr. Elia Chitunga Ngurare, who in his capacity as Secretary of the SWAPO Party Youth League at the time, was the first to send me together with fellow members of SWAPO Party Youth League to South Africa for political training. That formative experience laid the foundation of my ideals of the party and the service of our nation. I extend my heartfelt gratitude to Honorable Ephraim Nekongo, the Secretary of the SWAPO Party Youth League, for the invaluable opportunities that have significantly contributed to the solidification of my political career to this day. I also express sincere appreciation to the University of Namibia for its robust and dynamic systems of student leadership, which continues to nurture and develop leaders across all spheres of national life. Allow me to appreciate my dear wife, my entire family, friends and comrades for their unwavering support. Honorable Deputy Speaker, I stand in this august house as a delegate of the majority of the youth of this country, entrusted through the SWAPO Party Youth League to represent their interests and aspirations. In fulfilling my mandate in Parliament, as stipulated in Article 63 of the Namibian Constitution, my primary focus will be on reviewing and enacting laws and policies that promote the socio-economic and political advancement of young people, as pledged in our SWAPO Party manifesto and reflected in all our national development plans. My oversight responsibilities as a parliamentarian will center on the effective implementation of policies and programs in the areas of education, youth development, natural resources, information and communication, the economy, and industrialization. Particular attention will be given to reforming our economy and improving the livelihood of our people. Our government institutions must ensure that our people, especially the youth, benefit meaningfully from our natural resources. This should be achieved through opportunities in sustainable entrepreneurship, support for sustainable local investment, participation in global economy, and above all, the access to quality education and skills development. I rise today as one of the youth representatives in the 8th Parliament, a truly unique parliament in the history of the Republic, where young leaders hold a significant presence in this chamber, something of which we should all be proud. This has instilled a renewed sense of hope and conviction among our citizens. Hope for economic reform, hope for social progression, and hope for national prosperity. It is a hope further further strengthened by the leadership of our first female president, Her Excellency Dr. Netumbo Nandi-Ndaitwah. Therefore, honorable members, we must work as a collective, regardless of our political differences, to review and pass laws and policies that give substance to the hopes of our people. We are the leadership of hope and conviction, not only for Namibia, but as an example to the world. Honorable Deputy Speaker, allow me to join fellow honorable members in congratulating the Minister of Finance for tabling the 2025-2026 budget to the tune of 106.3 billion Namibian dollars. Our business and economy sectors are still suffering from the far-reaching impacts of COVID-19 pandemic, which particularly affected youth entrepreneurship and employment. The pandemic caused disruptions in both global and local supply chains, impacting commodity prices, production activities, and Namibia's external demand. Many young people lost their income and lost their employment due to retrenchments and the closure of business. Recognizing that our economy is continuing on the recovery path at a very, very slow pace and remains quite fragile and uneven, as illustrated in the fiscal strategies presented to this August House, there is a pressing need to continue addressing systemic fragilities and imbalances. I would like to commend the Ministry of Finance for acknowledging through its budgetary allocation the need for trade promotion, industrial and small business development, and the promotion of investment opportunities. However, Honorable Deputy Speaker, Honorable Members of this House, we must curb the infiltration of foreign enterprises into our areas, providing goods and services that compete with local entrepreneurs, further impacting the informal sector without undermining the principles of mixed economy. Our laws and policies should not permit foreigners, such as Chinese or Indian nationals, to sell items like Mboka steel nails or ropes at rural malls in Ihongo village, that's my village, or at Pusa village in the Kapako constituency of Kavango West region. Consequently, the retail commercial sector should be reserved for locals to minimize competition. We must protect businesses through local preferences guidelines and develop local capabilities through sector reservations. Therefore, this Parliament of Hope and Conviction should review and enact strong laws and guidelines that protect our local economy. Furthermore, the informal economy should be strengthened by providing the necessary economic infrastructure and social amenities strategically placed to enhance productive business activities. This Parliament of Hope and Conviction should review the Local Authority Act regarding the operations of informal businesses, particularly to increase the trading hours for open markets and relax regulations for vendors. Such measures will undoubtedly stimulate the informal economy. But, Honorable Deputy Speaker, it is high time that we urge our scholars to rename the term informal markets or informal businesses to a more respectful and inclusive term that does not undermine the efforts of those working in the sector. There is no reason why our nation's basic economy should be considered informal. This label disadvantages those within the sector by restricting their access to other markets within the broader business ecosystem. The influx of foreign experts in the employment sector must be closely monitored and controlled through collaborative efforts by the Namibia Investment Promotion and Development Boards, the Office of the Labour Commission, and the Immigration Control Boards. Inspection must be conducted on businesses to ascertain the number of foreign nationals employed in those sectors and to assess whether skills transfer is genuinely taking place. We must secure employment opportunities for our young people in order to close the unemployment gap. Honorable Deputy Speaker, honorable members, 71.1% of our population is under the age of 35 years. This demographic pattern has a great potential for economic growth due to a large workforce and significantly impact our economy, social and political development, but under a conducive environment. The SWAPO Party-led government is committed to empower the youth to drive the economic development and reduce unemployment by 2030. Young people can only make a meaningful impact on our development when they are equipped with knowledge and skills through accessible and quality basic and higher education, including vocational training alongside with economic opportunities. There must be economic opportunities. The 2025-2026 budget has allocated the largest portion to the Ministry of Education, Innovation, Youth, Sports and Arts and Culture for youth empowerment. It is very exciting to note that around 825 million has been allocated to the construction and upgrading of classrooms, ablution facilities, including the classrooms or the construction of a new primary school in Havana Settlement in Windhoek, and the construction of a hostel at Omumbula Combined School in the remote Oshikoto region. These interventions focus on expanding school infrastructure and reducing regional disparities in access to education. However, Honorable Deputy Speaker, infrastructure development must be supported by adequate funding that is availed on time to ensure that schools have the necessary resources, including textbooks and learning materials. We should also be clear and take a firm position on the admission of grade 11 and advanced subsidiary learners to tertiary institutions. The Ministry should further ensure there is an ongoing tailor-made professional development program to ensure that teachers remain current with the best practices and can address the diverse needs of our learners. Honorable Deputy Speaker, the technical and vocational education and training system is designed for innovation and transformation to provide skill-based training that equips young people with knowledge and competencies needed for employment and entrepreneurship. The allocation of about 25 million to the capital projects of TVET, along with our priorities to roll out free TVET and higher education, is highly commendable. However, our TVET graduates face challenges in securing employment and accessing financial support to establish their businesses as potential entrepreneurs. I challenge our banking sectors to initiate an innovation fund to stimulate our entrepreneurs by providing them with access to tools and financial support, enabling them to bring unique and innovative ideas to life. Similarly, I challenge the local authorities across Namibia to prioritize the development of business incubators for young entrepreneurs. Honorable Deputy Speaker, it is very exciting to note that the government has prioritized the support of youth programs for skills development and capacity building. The allocation of $1.2 billion Namibian dollars to the Vote for Sport, Youth and National Services is highly commendable, as it will benefit over 1 million young people in our country, according to our 2023 population and housing census. We commend the prioritization of sports by Her Excellency Dr. Netumbo Nandi-Ndaitwah, President of the Republic of Namibia, which has resulted in the allocation of 200 million to the construction of sport fields. While we look forward to the full implementation of these projects, I urge young Namibian entrepreneurs and experts to strategically position themselves, not only to secure a share of the 200 million, but to take ownership of our developmental projects. It is high time that our local architects and quantity surveyors from NASC, the project managers from UNAM, the engineers from the UNAM Jose Eduardo dos Santos campus, the bricklayers from the Okakarara VTC, the plumbers from Zambezi VTC and Kayak in Ondangwa, including the landscapers from UNAM Ogongo campus, the general suppliers from the School of Hustle, the sport promoters and the entertainers, including the Zulu Boys of Onaina, and the mechanizers get a chance to be part of this development. This will demonstrate that our tertiary institutions and systems have indeed developed the local capacity over the past 35 years. Honorable Deputy Speaker, the youth unemployment rate in Namibia is currently at 44%, affecting individuals, families, and societies. This leads to the personal hardship and increase the risk of mental health problems, crime, and subsistence abuse, especially among the young people. The sustainable solution to youth unemployment in Namibia lies in the creation of beneficiation. For too long, we have preached a common phrase, Honorable Deputy Speaker, teach a man to fish and you feed him for a lifetime. We have educated the youth through our education and training system, but it seems that we have not provided adequate rivers for the youth to fish from. The solution lies in value addition.
Thank you, Honorable Member.
Honorable Speaker.
Thank you. You have delivered, my brother. That's why Venani even acknowledged. Okay, Honorable Lizazi. Yeah. Hello. Hello. Please. Hello, honorable members. You know, others have not delivered maiden speeches, so they will be interrupted. So, please, I like the spirit. Maiden speech, just give the person. It's our own rules. Honorable Lizazi Mushweni.
Thank you very much, Deputy Honorable Speaker, for the floor that you have given me. Honorable members, I am Elvis Milunga Lizazi, the Shadow Minister of Justice and Labor Relations. Honorable Speaker, Deputy Speaker, and honorable members, I rise as a son of Zambezi with the currents of this great river and the voice of my people guiding me. In a small hut in Ikoma village, elders will recount how justice, like the mighty Zambezi itself, must flow to every corner, from the deepest rural gap to the highest court of our land. Having served across multiple regions of Namibia as an educator, I carry with me a diverse understanding of our people's challenges and aspirations. I am a Seventh-day Adventist Sabbath as outlined in the scriptures. I respect all faith and traditions that you uplift the human spirit. I thank my party, the IPC, for entrusting me with this responsibility and all those who supported my journey to this chamber. Today, carrying that narrative spirit, I stand in this august house to ensure those ancestral lessons inform our nation's laws and national treasury. It reminds us that justice and labor are not abstract concepts, but living stories of our people's daily struggles and triumphs. Honorable Deputy Speaker, honorable members, with the new government structure, the Minister of Justice and Labor Relations combines two critical portfolios under one roof. This mega underscores that social justice in Namibia isn't limited to courtrooms. It extends to the fields, shops, and offices where our people labor. Labor relation is firmly on our agenda, and we must confront the challenges head on. Namibia's history with labor hire is painful. The infamous Africa Personnel Services case still echoes in 2009 judgment of the Supreme Court that struck down a law banning labor hire, deeming the entire practice as unconstitutional. Even with our Labor Act and recent introduction of national minimum wage, enforcement is alarmingly weak. In 2024, the ministry's executive director revealed that only 51 labor inspectors are available nationwide. With such a thin inspectorate, abusive employers slip through the cracks. Indeed, labor experts warn that many employers ignore basic conditions and minimum wages rules, knowing the chance of inspection is slim. The message is clear. Our people continue to be exploited through labor hire companies. This should become a lament of the past not a reality on our watch. Honorable Deputy Speaker, honorable members, true justice must be accessible to all, not only to those in towns and cities or those who can afford a lawyer. As Shadow Minister of Justice and Labor Relations, let me take a glance on our access to justice challenges and opportunities for reform. For example, the legal aid. We commend the recent effort by the Minister of Justice to expand legal aid. The eligible threshold was substantially raised so that Namibians earning up to 7,000 per month can now qualify for state-funded legal aid. This is a positive step up from a previous inadequate income cap. The ministry is appointing additional legal aid counsels to handle the expected siege in cases. In remote villages, the first and sometimes the only forum of justice is the community or the traditional court. These courts, recognized under the Community Courts Act 10 of 2003, handles local disputes through customary laws which are recognized in Article 66, Sub-Article 1 of the Namibian Constitution. Yet, they often operate with negligible support. Many traditional authorities lack proper training in legal procedures, and their decision may not be effectively enforced or recorded. I call for a modest but meaningful budget allocation to strengthen community courts, training community court clerks, provide remuneration to traditional justices instead of a 1,000 allowance they receive, and integrate their record keeping with the formal system. By so doing, we validate the role of customary justice while ensuring it aligns with constitutional values. Additionally, mobile legal clinics should be funded to visit rural areas, offering legal advice, helping villagers file cases and appeals, and educating communities about their rights. This kind of outreach, possibly in partnership with the Law Society of Namibia and law faculties at our local universities, to bridge the urban-rural justice divide. I will be asking pointed questions in board's debate about the timelines for enforcing these acts. Justice delayed is justice denied, and protective laws delayed are justice derailed. Honorable Deputy Speaker, honorable members, independence goes hand in hand with the accountability. Unfortunately, our courts face crippling backlog and delays in delivering justice. Magistrates' courts' dockets are overflowing as I speak. Thousands of cases remain unheard or unfinished, some stretching several years. The Chief Justice's annual report, if tabled, would likely to show a stubbornly high number of pending cases, especially criminal trials where accused persons wait in custody beyond reasonable time. This backlog, as the Justice Ministry itself admits, is partially due to a shortage of judicial officers and court resources. We have magistrate circuits that serve vast areas frequently. For example, periodical courts in remote areas might sit only once a month, causing legal matters to drag on. Our task as legislative arm is to ensure the executive delivers to these priorities. I will not sit silent if budget meant to uplift the vulnerable are misdirected. This maiden contribution is my pledge that as Shadow Minister of justice and labor relations. I will champion the cause of the voiceless seeking justice and the workers seeking dignity. In conclusion, Deputy Honorable Speaker, honorable members, the true measure of a nation is how we treat our most vulnerable. The rural villager seeking justice, the worker demanding dignity. We must choose today whether to perpetuate privileges or to fulfill our constitutional promises of equality, justice, and dignity. I stand unequivocally on the side of the worker, on the side of justice, and on the side of genuine reform. I yield the floor with the confidence that together we can turn this proposal into reality so that the story our children inherit, one of justice and labor respected in the land of the brave. I thank you.
Thank you, honorable members. Next is Honorable Matthias Bundu.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker.
No.
So for the floor that you have given me this afternoon. Honorable Speaker, I want to recognize and to congratulate the Right Honorable Prime Minister, Dr. Elijah Ngulare, and Honorable Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Mines and Energy, Industrial, Honorable Member of this August House, and the Namibian public at large. I give extra recognition to our Deputy Prime Minister as my former chairperson for the Economics and Public Administration Standing Committee, who taught me much about leading while I was his deputy. So, Honorable Speaker, honorable members, with 35 years into our youthful democracy, with majority of its citizens being too youth, tell us much about where this government prioritized should have been for the next past years. Kwame Nkrumah, the first president of Ghana, and a strong advocate of African nationalism, famously declared, and I quote, "We face neither east nor west, we face forward," end of quote. During this speech at the milestone conference of all African people in Accra, Ghana, in December 11, 1958. That is my response to this bill, focus on asking Her Excellency Dr. Netumbo Nandi-Ndaitwah's administration. The most crucial question of where are we as Namibian nation looking towards building an economical, competitive nation in this troubled time of geopolitics. Having studied this bill, have I come to the general conclusion that Namibia is a long way from reaching the founding fathers' aspiration to become an industrialized nation, as it was envisioned under Vision 2030. My argument is based on the realization that our national affairs is heavily dependent on what the IMF, World Bank, and all these international bodies dictate on the good or bad for our people. Honorable Speaker, honorable members, so if you read in the former Finance Minister budget speech of last year and compare note with yours, Honorable Minister, you will understand what I mean by the above statement when coming to the overbearing of influence of IMF has on our budget plan. Honorable Speaker, honorable members, fellow Namibians, the ordinary, decent, hard-working and unemployed Namibia would not be concerned with the world economic outlook of each financial year if it does not directly improve our living condition. Our people are looking for the practical solution to everyday struggles, such as a daily meal for their children, a decent income that can allow them to save up for the festive seasons with their loved ones, or to expand their SME business to gain better business opportunities. All these hopes for a better life is pinned in the manner in which this bill prioritizes its funding in infrastructure and inflation countermeasures. Honorable Speaker, honorable members, we cannot expect to confront the current crisis of unemployment without looking at the skill and knowledge gap existing in the education sector, because most graduates end up jobless or overskilled because our existing job market couldn't absorb them. So it brings back to the question of how is our natural resources benefiting the unemployed, literate and illiterate citizens. Honorable Speaker, honorable members, fellow Namibians, obviously there are commendable advances in this budget bill with the introduction of cash vote system to replace the food relief distribution program led by the Office of the Prime Minister. This is an indication that indeed the government does listen to the advice of these August House members, since it was an appeal that my former colleague championed to our current Speaker while she was heading the OPM. Honorable Speakers and honorable members, we can give gratitude on behalf of many Namibians who will benefit from the system. Honorable Minister of Finance should be frank to the Namibian nation in stating the reality that we are not self-sufficient, as we would want to be, but a real heavily on taxation system that is at the mercy of external inflationary factors. We are not for a prosperous future, end quote and unquote. Slogan alluded because this budget lacks to lead all Namibians towards prosperity. In my view, should this bill have spoken on how this SWAPO-led government plan to confront the elephant in the room, which is a wealth distribution through our natural resources, mineral, economical, alliance, skills development, and job creation. Because this recent release NSA employment statistic reflect on our unemployment rate at a disputed 36.9% that don't include the vast majority of discouraged unemployed workers, which, if included, actually brings unemployment figures up an alarming of 54.8%. That should be treated as a crisis. And on that note, will I commend my opposition members, Honorable Ina Hengari of the PDM, for introducing a motion speaking on the state of unemployment in Namibia. It is our wish that it will be supported by all members of this esteemed August House. Honorable Speaker, honorable members, fellow Namibians. In conclusion, fellow members, do I want to say this budget should be informing the Namibian nation on that the primary focus will be in the next 5 to 20 years, as a manner that addressing the lack of decent salaried employment amongst the majority of unemployed, skilled, underskilled, and unskilled Namibian people. And as such as does the Republican Party of Namibia, for the sake of expedience, partially support this appropriation bill under the new administration of Her Excellency Dr. Netumbo Nandi-Ndaitwah. I so submit.
Thank you. Thank you.
They must underline partial.
Next is Honorable Blankman. I'm reading. Brink. Okay, okay.
Honorable Deputy Speaker, my name is Lelani Brankman. With the R.
Kisting also.
Yeah, Kisting.
Yeah,
also.
if I fail, I will go back to Kisting.
Honorable Deputy Speaker, honorable members, I stand before you today with a heart full of gratitude and humility, deeply honored to serve as a member of this parliament. Firstly, I want to thank the Almighty God for choosing and guiding me, not only to serve, but to stand in the gap for his people. To the party I represent, IPC, I am profoundly grateful for entrusting me with this huge responsibility. I owe a debt of gratitude to the people of Mariental Urban Constituency and the electorate of Namibia at large. I am committed to represent your interests with integrity and dedication. Lastly, my husband, Pastor Gerard Brinkman, my parents-in-law, and my family. Thank you for having my back. Honorable Deputy Speaker, honorable members, my name is Lelani Brankman, born in Gibeon, but I've spent most of my years in Mariental. Like many Namibians today, I faced unemployment while holding qualifications. Qualifications in information technology, marketing, entrepreneurship, just to mention a few. From teaching, I later ended up in nursing. While I'm profoundly grateful for this journey, it has opened my eyes to the urgent health challenges we face in this country. The most heartbreaking experience was during the COVID-19 pandemic, when I entered the Ministry of Health. Lives were lost as if they held no value. Fear of death was the leading cause of many fatalities. I witnessed desperate pleas for life, yet they remain unanswered. Patients yearned for survival, but it was simply not possible. Honorable Deputy Speaker, the healthcare system faltered, leaving healthcare providers unable to save numerous lives. Patients had to be prioritized for ICU services. The infrastructure was just not adequate to cater for everyone. While the health sector is walking away with the second biggest cut of this budget, many individuals experience complications following the COVID-19 vaccination. The question remains, was it a result of the vaccine? Or was there an underlying health issue? Honorable Deputy Speaker, honorable members, by now everyone is aware of the long waiting queues that patients are facing, the shortage of staff and the medicine that are constantly out of stock is a topic in every household. The nation is tired of the constant excuses. They are tired of the speeches that are full of empty promises. I have witnessed elders of this country suffering with chronic diseases like diabetes and high blood pressure, sitting from the morning till 5 o'clock just to hear that their medication is out of stock. They had to take the already little pension money and go to the nearest hospital. Honorable members, Honorable Deputy Speaker, life-saving medication out of stock. For those that could afford, they get the medication from the private pharmacies. But for the majority of our elders, the state is their only option, their only hope. You will find that sometimes the prescription is being changed, and they just have to deal with the side effects. I have seen many patients surrendering, no more going to the hospital. They have given up on life because it was just not worth it. The health system has failed them. I remember that bedridden patient in Katima Mulilo, waiting for student nurses to feed him, to bath him, to change him, to turn him, because the nurses' workload was just too much. They couldn't come, they couldn't do anything and everything.
Yes. No, please.
Our nurses are standing on the feet the whole day. Yet it is just not enough. I have seen countless young mothers, like Cicely from Gibeon and Shemaine from Aranos, that have suffered the heartbreaking loss of their infants in the Marindal Hospital. Babies that were only admitted with fever. The health system has failed them. Sister Evelyn only developed shortness of breath, came to the hospital, was referred and booked for specialist care in Windhoek. While waiting for her date in September 2025, she has lost her life. She will be buried this coming Saturday, Honorable Deputy Speaker. The waiting list was just too long. A young mother that was supposed to live for her family, gone just like that. The system has failed, Sister Evelyn. Yes. One ambulance is serving a whole region, with emergencies and referrals coming in from all sides. Yes. I remember that uncle who had an accident in Gibeon while repairing a truck tire. He pleaded with God the whole way on his way to Windhoek, just for God to save his life. But it was just too late. Windhoek was just too far. The help he needed was out of reach. These are constant failures of the system, year in and year out. Lives are being lost on a daily basis because somebody is not doing their job, or the interest of this Namibia nation is not in their heart, on their heart. Yes. Where is the accountability? Accountability towards God. Accountability towards yourself. And accountability to the nation. Why are we doing what we do? Why is the outcry of the nation not heard? 82% of this nation is using public health, with a mere 18% having medical aid. They are dependent on this system. A system they keep on trusting with their lives, because there's no other way. The mandate of the Ministry of Health is to provide quality health services. This includes ensuring that these services are accessible, affordable, and sustainable. Honorable Deputy Speaker, as we delve into the appropriation bill debates, my plea is that each and every member of this House will have the interest of the Namibian people at heart. Let us remember the newborn babies that do not have the vaccines, the HIV/AIDS and TB patients that has been affected by the shortage of medication due to the funding of USAID that has been withdrawn. Let us remember those elders that are hopeless. Let us remember the malaria outbreak that is becoming worse. In conclusion, Honorable Speaker and honorable members,
The IPC manifesto is clearly outlining the importance of medical research, focusing on disease prevalence in Namibia. By upgrading our research facilities, we can discover innovative treatments that will advance patient care and overall public health. Studies should be conducted on efficacy and safety of traditional medicines. It has fewer side effects and can be effective in certain treatments. A nation is looking up to this house. We can deliver what they need. We can save Namibia, not in our own strength, but through the power of God and through the guidance of the Holy Spirit. He knows what this country needs. I thank you.
Thank you. Now, next is Honorable Licando Rodrigue.
Honorable Deputy Speaker, honorable members, fellow Namibians, I greet you all in the mighty name of Jesus. I am Licando Rodrigue Liwela. I rise in this August House to deliver my maiden contribution as the Shadow Minister of Environment, Forestry and Tourism. I stand here not for personal acclaim, but as a voice of our people, from the floodplains of Zambezi to the rolling mountains of Kunene, who have entrusted us with their hopes and aspirations. Yes. Allow me first to express reverence to the Almighty God. The psalmist says in Psalms chapter 100, verse 5, "For the Lord is good, His mercy is everlasting, His truth endures to all generations." It is by God's mercy I'm guided by my faith and my background as an elder in the Seventh-day Adventist Church and community servant, and I pray that wisdom and compassion will prevail in our deliberations. Yes. I would like to express my deepest appreciation to my wife, my mom, and my entire family, and all those who worked tirelessly to make this possible. Yes. I hail from Musanga area in Zambezi region, a rural community blessed with nature's bounty, yet long neglected by the government since independence. Yes. We know the hardship of impassable roads and distance clinics. We have lost loved ones, ferrying patients in dug-out canoes during floods. I carry those stories in my heart. But I speak not only for that region. I speak for entire Namibia, one nation under God. From Kavango woodlands and Ochozonjupa farmland to the Karas dunes. In that spirit of unity, I congratulate all members on their election to the 8th Parliament of the Republic of Namibia. Honorable Deputy Speaker, our Constitution, Article 95L, calls on the state to maintain ecosystems, essential ecological processes and biodiversity for the benefit of present and future generations. This is a sacred trust of stewardship we owe our children. Guided by that principle and by the Independent Patriots for Change manifesto, which stands for restoring dignity and sustainable prosperity, I will address the key themes of my portfolio as the Shadow Minister. Our talk in the appropriation is to ensure the 2025-2026 budget truly meets the needs of the environment sector and the people who depend on it. The Ministry of Environment, Forestry and Tourism has been allocated $797.6 million Namibian dollars in this financial year. Honorable Deputy Speaker, human-wildlife conflict is a heart-rending challenge that stalks many rural communities. It is a challenge I know personally. In Zambezi, I have seen families mourning loved ones and fields trampled Yet this is not a Zambezi issue alone, it's a national issue. Just in the past year, we witnessed incidents across multiple regions. 2 lions wandered from Bwabwata and roamed among villages, killing livestock and mauling a man. In the Umsat region, elephants trampled 2 men to death in separate incidents. And in the first 2 months of this year, 5 Namibians lost their lives and several were injured in crocodile attacks along the Kavango River. I'm quite sure you know about this. These are our constrained mothers, fathers, children who perished or suffered terrible loss. We cannot remain unmoved or complacent. Each statistic represents a precious life. Each incident underscores the precarious balance our rural citizens strike each day between making a livelihood and living alongside wild creatures. The Honorable Minister herself noted that human-wildlife conflict affects both the community and conservation efforts. Indeed, Namibia's famed wildlife elephants, lions, hippos, crocodiles, and they are all a cornerstone of our tourism. Yet, to those farming on the front lines, they can pose an existential threat. We must find equitable solutions. I acknowledge the Ministry's recent improvement of the Human-Wildlife Self-Reliance Scheme, where the compensation for livestock losses was increased from 5,000 Namibian dollars to 8,000 Namibian dollars per head of cattle. This is a step in the right direction. However, let us be frank. For many farmers, a good bull or cow is worth far more. At 8,000 now per head, we are closer to fairness, but still likely below the true value of prime livestock. Furthermore, no amount of money can compensate for a human life lost. The Human-Wildlife Conflict Self-Reliance Scheme itself should be strengthened. If full compensation models are prone to abuse, as the Minister cautioned, then let us improve the self-reliance approach with greater transparency and community involvement. Claims must be processed promptly and fairly. And perhaps it is time to explore a national insurance fund for human-wildlife conflict, to which government, conservancies, and private stakeholders can contribute so that the burden of living next to our national wildlife treasure is shared by all beneficiaries of that treasure. Honorable members, our forests and wildlife are under siege from criminal syndicates and unscrupulous exploiters. The budget under debate must equip the ministry to fight back decisively. I speak here of poaching of high-value species like rhino and pangolin, and of illegal logging of precious hardwoods. These crimes rob Namibia of its natural heritage and rob communities of future benefits. The budget allocation for wildlife protection is around 45.6 million Namibian dollars for this financial year. I urge that a portion of the development budget be directed to advance the anti-poaching technology. Similarly, illegal timber harvesting has plagued our forests, particularly in the northeastern regions. Just late last year, over 1,600 illegally cut timber logs and 1,800 planks smuggled from Zambia and Angola were seized in the Kavango West. Offenders caught were left off with admission guilt fine of totaling 32,000 Namibian dollars. This is deeply troubling. I call for a review of penalties. In our Forest Act, let hefty fines and jail terms reflect that timber theft is economic sabotage. We must keep up those joint operations. Furthermore, empowering communities through the aforementioned community forest is key. Finally, I note that this year, the ministry plans to construct or renovate several facilities and repair critical equipment. I hope the funds allocated for capital projects will indeed be spent and not diverted. We will be tracking implementation through parliamentary questions and committees. Yes. Food and source of income are prohibited from harvesting in Etosha without permits, leading to hardship and resentment. While we understand the need to conserve resources, there should be a way to allow sustainable, regulated harvesting of such natural resources by local people, even in protected areas. Perhaps community conservation zones or seasonal permits can be introduced so that cultural practices like harvesting edible insects or thatching grass can continue in harmony with the conservation. Tourism development, likewise, should involve communities as partners, not see them as mere bystanders or worse, impediment. Honorable Deputy Speaker, as I close, allow me to invoke a wisdom of an African proverb. We do not inherit the earth from our ancestors. We borrow it from our children. The IPC and I stand ready to cooperate in good faith to any initiative that advance these aims. We will also not hesitate to exercise oversight where we see neglect of mismanagement. That is our constitutional duty as the official opposition party in this chamber. May God bless Namibia. May God guide our deliberations and our actions through the debates. God bless you all. I thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Mele. Next is Honorable Feni.
Speaker, it's very cold.
Next is Honorable Feni. I said, Prof, help. I said, wait, there is something. Just a note. Then you done. Then the next person will also tomorrow. Yeah, please. And leave the other one. Just talk about you. Just a note to the presiding officer. Leave the others.
Just leave my brother.
Okay.
It is cold.
Thank you very much, Honorable Deputy Speaker. Honorable Deputy Speaker, I rise to contribute to the discussion on the floor on the appropriation bill for 2025-2026 financial year. Let me thank the Honorable Minister of Finance and her team for making this budget happen. In the same breath, I would like to congratulate my President, Her Excellency Dr. Netumbo Nandi-Ndaitwah, on becoming our first female President. Comrade President, you make us proud as a Namibian woman. Once again, I want to congratulate also our President for continuing the Pan-African vision of a leader like the late Kwame Nkrumah and Mohammed Gaddafi, may their soul rest in peace, who rejected imperialism and neo-colonialism and promoting Africa self-independence. Your alignment with a leader like of Abraham Traore give us hope for unity and will bring to an end the divide and conquer saga. We thank you, Madam President. Honorable Deputy Speaker, we must ask ourselves, what kind of future are we financing today? Honorable Minister has just tabled the total expenditure of amount of 106.3 billion for 2025-2026 financial year, which is substantial, and one should reflect the scale of our goals. However, Honorable Deputy Speaker, when we unpack this budget, critical threat emerge with the amount of 70.8 billion going to the operation expenditure, while the 13.7 billion and 12.8 billion to debt servicing and development budget respectively. This means it's only 12% of our budget goes to the building of this road, the school, hospital, water and electricity, and the rural infrastructure that our people need most. While the rise in the development budget allocation is notable, and I commend the Minister for that, we must not ignore the gap between our consumption, what we owe, and what we build. For the third year running, our development vote is still lagging, both operational expenses and debt servicing. Honorable Deputy Deputy Speaker, Honorable Member, the budget ratio tells us that the debt and the salary take presidency over a critical social and developmental infrastructure and job creation. This is not sustainable, as the development budget is our most important tool for inclusive socio-economic development and unlocking economic opportunity. Honorable Deputy Speaker, although some of our debts dates back years ago, what we borrow back then, it's costing us more in today's revenue. As Honorable Minister, we must ensure that our borrowing decision directing support capital information, not consumption. We cannot borrow our way out of development gaps, especially when the funds are used to finance the present recurring costs rather than the service the future. Honorable Deputy Speaker, Honorable Member, this year's speech highlighted a conversation between the Honorable Minister and a young man from Dreamopolis, a young person eager to realize his potential if only given a fair chance. I submit that, Honorable Minister, the development budget is the answer to that call if well funded. Deputy Speaker, without a strong and consistent allocation to the development budget, the goal of our young people cannot be fulfilled, and we cannot redress the unemployment situation in our country, which is estimated to be the highest among our peers. Honorable Deputy Speaker, we weren't able to stimulate the local enterprises, attract investment, and meet our Vision 2030. Therefore, we must remember that while the operation budget keeps the government functioning, the developmental budget fuels Namibians' future as such. We must allow enough physical space for development. In conclusion, Honorable Deputy Speaker, I wish to congratulate our Speaker being our first, and a job that she's doing is extremely well. And also to my Omake, to my Vice President, Her Excellency Madam Lucia Witbooi, indeed Namibia is in a good hand. With that said, let the development budget speak for the young person in Dreamopolis, the rural farmer in Wangwena, and the wood carver in Rundu, and the learner in Kunene. With those few words, Honorable Minister, I support the bill, so I submit.
Thank you. Next is Honorable Maloti. Danki. Maiden speech, and we have started well, please.
Honorable Deputy Speaker, Honorable Members of Parliament, fellow Namibians, I rise today for the very first time in this August House, not only as a Member of Parliament, but as a proud servant of the Namibian people, entrusted with the responsibility
Hello, use this one.
Entrusted with the responsibility.
Yeah, I can hear. Yeah. We agreed his maiden speech. Yeah. Protection, please. Continue, my.
Entrusted with the responsibility to shape a future worthy of our youth, our creatives, our athletes, our teachers, and our entrepreneurs, in my role as Deputy Minister of Education, Innovation, Youth, Sports, Arts, and Culture. The portfolios under our care are not simply administrative, they are deeply human. They foster the dreams of young people sitting in classrooms. They speak to the hopes and ambitions of young graduates who have been empowered and continue to knock on closed doors. They speak to the talent and determination of athletes training on dusty sand fields, to the spirit of artists searching for their voice, and to the boldness of innovators daring to reimagine their future. But today we must begin with honesty. Yesterday I chose to visit Havana and Khoriankap informal settlement. I had the opportunity to engage young people, where I visited to see where we are building the next school in Havana, as well as the intermediate hospital and police station. I was briefed by our Honorable Councillor that the 2023 National Census confirmed 36,000 dwellings. I struggled to sleep last night.
Hello, priest.
I struggled to sleep last night thinking how we can do more, how we must not allow for out of sight, out of mind. We need to do more, we must do more, and we shall do more. To introduce myself as a retired youth, I was born in Windhoek Central Hospital to a Namibian mother, Cheryl Panton, and an Italian father, Luigi Ballotti. Raised in the Windhoek East constituency, all I truly know is being Namibian. When asked, but where are you from? I answer without pause each time, Namibia. My sons, Omuna and Omuyame, are third-generation Namibians with slightly darker pigmentation. Perhaps they will be seen as proper Namibians. Perhaps. I reflect today on stories told to me by my brother.
Thank you.
I reflect today on stories told to me by my brother Sheku Nepembe about his late father, Tatitomi Nakalega, a freedom fighter whose blood waters our freedom. These are the giants upon whose shoulders we stand. Because of them, I, a young boy with big dreams, now stand here in this august house in the 8th Parliament. Last week, I listened to deeply inspiring maiden speeches by honorable members across the room, including that of Ina Hangari and my comrade brothers George Kambala and Prof. Job, two Youth League veterans of the SWAPO party. Each of them reminded me of our sacred promise. Each of them reminded me of our sacred promise as I took the oath to be sworn into the executive branch of government, and that is to serve with integrity, honor, and humility. I would be remiss not to acknowledge those who have shaped me. My parents for teaching me right from wrong and instilling a sense of kindness. My mother, Angela Kachimune, and Tate Khasom Kachimune, the kindest and wisest man that I know. My political mother, Honorable Lucia Ipumbu. My mentor, Lucas Nanyemba. Visionary leaders like Owen Chipuka, Sepo Aihambo, Nangula Wanja, and Cosmos Ihumbo are but a few leaders that have both led and stretched me. And Her Excellency, President Dr. Netumbo Nandi Ndaitwa, who believed in me enough to invite me into her administration. I say to her that I commit to giving this my everything. I draw inspiration from the quiet leadership of our Right Honorable Prime Minister, Dr. Elijah Ngurare, a servant leader who reminds me of Robin Sharma's book, The Leader Who Had No Title, and it was the spirit that I stepped forward not to wear a title, but to carry a responsibility. Honorable members, Honorable Deputy Speaker, we cannot claim to serve the people and remain silent when our children are murdered. I wish to use this powerful platform to speak against the murder of Ingrid Mastob, similar to the notice of question raised by Honorable Tara Mutu. A young 5-year-old pre-grade learner and a joyful Namibian whose body was found under a bridge in Feresdal, Okahanya on our Independence Day, 21st of March, just a few weeks ago. It was reported that she was raped, strangled, and dumped in water. We understand as public leaders that the laws we pass in this very house, in this beacon of our democracy, set the standard for what we are willing to hold ourselves accountable to as a people. Justice must not be symbolic, it must be systemic. Every Namibian child deserves to grow up free from fear. Let us therefore continue in our work of building a Namibia that we can all live in. May the soul of little Ingrid Mastob rest in eternal peace, and may her family find comfort. I rise today not just as a public servant, but as a passionate advocate for Namibian entrepreneurship. But let us be honest, all of the honorable members here, myself included, can never truly understand the plight of entrepreneurs in our country. Many of us may have an entrepreneurial spirit. We may even be engaged in entrepreneurial endeavors. However, we still receive a salary and will therefore never fully understand the plight to be a proper entrepreneur with very little support from our communities and dare I say, government institutions. According to the African Development Bank African Entrepreneurship Index, Namibia ranks below the continental average in entrepreneurship ecosystems, largely due to access to finance, policy fragmentation, and low support from startups or for startups at grassroots levels. We must, and henceforth shall do more for entrepreneurs and MSMEs. I repeat, we do more to render the requisite financial, technical, and market access support to entrepreneurs across our 14 regions under each of our 57 local authorities and 121 constituencies. To quote the late Grace Hopper, U.S. Navy Admiral, who is credited for coining the phrase, "rather ask for forgiveness than permission," I too shall rather ask for forgiveness for being unapologetic about service delivery and our intentional pursuit to empower Namibian entrepreneurs. Because entrepreneurship is not a luxury, it is in fact a key tenet for our growth and prosperity. Honorable Deputy Speaker, honorable members, if we are honest, which we are, our economy is not yet working for many. The latest survey by the Namibia Statistics Agency reveals a national unemployment crisis. These are not numbers, these are lives. I am convinced that this burden, once inverted, could become our strength. Notwithstanding these realities, I do not stand here to despair, but I stand here with conviction to contribute toward the collective leadership solution. Because these numbers also tell another story that is one of potential. According to our central bank, our economy grew by 3.7% in 2024, and we are informed by our most capable Minister of Finance, Comrade Minister Shafuda, that we expect growth of 4.5% in 2025. This is a positive and optimistic forecast, not a political speech. But growth without inclusion will not translate to development if our young people are not part of this growth. If they cannot see it, participate in it, and contribute towards it, it will not be sustained. We have promised hope, and this is where our work begins. My mouth is so dry today. Permit me to share between 2017 and 2023, the number of our learners in our education system grew by more than 120,000, an increase of 17%. But this surge was not matched by proportional growth in both teachers or facilities. We have observed a rising learner-to-teacher ratio. We still observe overcrowded classrooms, often forcing children into afternoon shifts, particularly in the early grades. Now, this is not merely a logistical issue. It is a function of development planning and certainly a warning sign. A system under pressure will struggle to deliver quality, and quality is what our young people deserve and what our economy demands. What we want is education and not just certification. Yet amidst these pressures, we are not under-investing. Allow me to quote my Honorable Minister, Sanet Steenkamp, when she says, "We are not spending on education, we are investing in education." Our SWAPO-led government invests approximately 20,000 Namibian dollars per student, and as a percentage of GDP per capita, places us in the same league as countries such as Austria, United Kingdom, Switzerland, Denmark, and South Korea. So this is not a call for more, which is relative. It is a call to do more with what we have. We must confront the hard truth. Investment alone does not translate to transformation. Accountability must meet expenditure, innovation must meet bureaucracy, and results must meet intention. Vote 27, Sport, Youth and National Services allocated 1.26 billion Namibian dollars for this financial year. I was asked on a panel last week whether this is enough, and I responded saying no, it is not. However, acknowledging that a two-third budget increase and acknowledging that real value is yet to be derived from this investment. Our charge is not only to spend, but to deliver, to ensure that every dollar unlocks capability, that every learner moves closer to opportunity, and to ensure that the product prepared at primary level is equipped to perform at secondary level, therefore, or thereby, reducing the high rate of attrition. Education must become the engine of productivity, underpinned by research and development. It must close the gap through innovation, through sports, through arts, but only by believing urgently and relentlessly in the potential of our people. Innovation will drive the future of our economy, and it will be shaped by those we empower today. We are a country rich in young people who are ready to build, ready to serve, ready to lead. Let us be worthy of them. As I draw to a close, the ministry will not be driven by slogans. We will be driven by service, by results, and by the quiet power of delivery. We are already hard at work to improve the equity and quality of education systems, to redress national social infrastructure deficits for both schools and sports facilities. To the teacher in the overcrowded classroom, I say, we see you. To the young person waiting for your chance, we hear your cry. And to every Namibian who still believes in the promise of this country, we shall not let you down. Let us collaborate to make Namibia the winning nation that she is. Henceforth, our sportsmen and women will play to win. Our musicians and creatives will shine and take their place amongst their contemporaries. Our youthful energy and intellectual exploits will be developed and harnessed to add value to the country we all call home, Namibia. Honorable Speaker, I therefore support the 2025-2026 budget, inclusive of the annual membership of First Ladies that we have committed to remaining a member of. I thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Next is Honorable Sirka Ausiku. Take note, maiden speech, please. Maiden speech.
Namali Morgan. Honorable Deputy Speaker, Honorable Member, I rise today in this august house with humility to give my maiden speech. Standing here is Sirka Ausiku, representing the SWAPO party from the great Kavango West region. I'm a teacher by profession and an administrator, and here I am in this august house. Firstly, I would like to thank me throughout my life. I would also like to thank the SWAPO party members and supporters and the Namibians at large for giving our party another mandate for the next 5 years. And as a member of the party, I don't take this for granted. Additionally, I would like to thank His Excellency
Klinkis, maiden speech.
Our second president, for appointing me as the regional governor for Kavango West.
Yeah. No, it's out of great respect, they know. Ask Motoni, will tell you.
His Excellency, the late Dr. Hagedi Gwengo, our third president, for reappointing me in the same position. And may his soul continue to rest in peace. Furthermore, I would like to congratulate Her Excellency Dr. Netumbo Nandi-Ndaitwah for election as the first female president of our republic. I also want to congratulate our Honorable Speaker through you, Honorable Deputy Speaker, for her election as the first female speaker. In the same vein, I would like to congratulate our Right Honorable Prime Minister, Nona, Comrade Njikiti, Dr. Ngurare, and the entire cabinet for their appointment. Honorable Deputy Speaker, Honorable Member, I will dedicate my time in this august house to advocate for the improvement of the socio-economic condition of our people. During my time here, I would like to focus on youth empowerment, gender equality, focusing on gender-based violence, and equal distribution of our resources to all Namibians. I will also advocate for Parliament as collective to strengthen our oversight function to monitor the implementation of the budget. This is necessary because our regional visit of some of our standing committee do not give hope to our people, especially in the region. I can give some examples. There are some projects which have been budgeted year in and year out, but not implemented, like the district hospital of Kurenkuru and also Brother Primary School for the San community in Pungu constituency. It should be our duty to make sure that ministries should not come here and request same funding but not implementing those projects. Honorable Deputy Speaker, honorable members, poverty and unemployment is a reality we are facing as a nation, and it is affecting our people, especially in the rural area, where 60% of our population reside, as well as in the informal settlement of our towns. This is evident in the Multidimensional Poverty Index report of 2021 by Namibian Statistics Agency, where it states that incidences of poverty are highest in the Kavango West, it's 76%, in Kavango East, it's 70%, and Kunene region is 64.1%. And unemployment, especially among the youth, is equal high in these three regions. Thank you for agreeing with me. Our communities in rural areas and in the informal settlements lack basic infrastructure like water, electricity, roads, houses, communication networks, sanitation, health, and education facilities, to mention but a few. I don't approve budget.
No, honorable member, just stick to your writings.
I will therefore advocate for equal distribution of resources to all regions to address these challenges. Budget allocation, Honorable Deputy Speaker, must be informed by the available statistics on the development needs of each region. Example, we have some constituencies with no gravel road. We have constituencies with no electricity. We have learners being taught under trees. We have no sport facility in our constituencies. We have also constituencies where community members and learners walk more than 30 kilometers to the nearest clinic or nearest school. Our small, medium enterprises in the regions are not empowered financially. There are no markets for our small-scale farmers involved in livestock and horticulture production in the region to help them create employment and stimulate local economy. I believe that rural development and creating necessary developmental opportunity is the only effective strategy to address rural-urban migration. These are bread and butter issues that I would advocate for to be addressed during my time in Parliament. I will also advocate for the passing of the Regional Constituency Development Fund Bill to fast-track development in all 14 regions. Honorable Speaker, Honorable Deputy Speaker, Honorable Member, as I conclude, I want to thank all my teachers, my lecturers, who shared my life through education, who shaped my life through education, my late father, O. Kefas, may his soul continue to rest in peace, my dear mom, my family, my children, including my family in Onipa, in Oshigambo, where I studied, who opened their homes to cater for me. Finally, I would like to thank the Honorable Minister of Finance for tabling a well-balanced budget, and I'm looking forward for the third reading when individual votes will be motivated. and I support the appropriation bill.
Next is Honorable Minister of Education, Sanet Steenkamp. Oh, yeah. No, they have, and we have, and I think also Honorable Ricardo. Just sit, just take. Hello? Just sit. Okay, thank you. Honorable members, I take note that in terms of the scheduling, things did not go wrong. In the same spirit we have always been engaging, we will come and reconvene and readjust so that we can accommodate the ones who did not get a chance. But as per recognition, and you also see the time, I think we've got only 15 minutes. So, and then on the list here, you are after actually, if you check on the master list. Yeah, so you will, it just means that as chief whips, we need to rearrange so that we accommodate Honorable Eichhoek and Honorable Morena Mughul, Lukato, Kakiako Lebala. So Honorable Sanet, I think you will take us to the closure. Thank you. It's maiden speech. Africans, you see, our greatness lies in the simplicity of our approach. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Honorable Deputy Speaker of the National Assembly. Esteemed Honorable Members, allow me to congratulate you on the appointment in this 8th Parliament. And also, it is with a deep sense of appreciation and humility that I rise in this August House to deliver my maiden speech. I wish to announce that I will still come to unpack the budget for education, innovation, sports, arts and culture. However, for now, my concentration is on my maiden. I'm most grateful, and I cannot take for granted the grace and honor bestowed on me by God. And I pray for renewed strength as I begin this new chapter to serve our nation. Namibia stands at a most powerful and pivotal moment in history, with women holding the 3 highest political positions, that of President, Vice President, and Speaker of the National Assembly. This is indeed profound and a reflection of women reclaiming and reinforcing their voices, their agency and leadership in spaces once dominated by men. I will briefly look at leadership in Namibia through the lens of Women Who Run with the Wolves, the archetypes and wisdom in Clarissa Pinkola Esté's influential book. I wish to start by sincerely expressing my gratitude to Her Excellency, Dr. Netumbo Nandi-Ndaitwah, for entrusting me with this honor of being appointed as a minister. As Namibia's first female president, she indeed embodies the spirit of La Loba, the wolf woman, described by Clarissa Pinkola Estés, who brings wisdom, renewal, and intuitive leadership. She leads with both heart and vision, esteemed members, drawing from the country's past, its history, to shape a more just and inclusive future. She is indeed the epitome, a true patron of the creative, the spiritual, the athlete, the curious, and an inspiration to every Namibian who dreams of a better life. Honorable Deputy Speaker, esteemed honorable members, I also wish to congratulate our Vice President, Her Excellency, Ms. Lucia Witbooi. She reminds me of the handless maiden from Women Who Run with the Wolves. With her tenacity and her rise to leadership is an inspiration and positive influence to many, showing what is possible despite societal limitations. And with a quiet strength and steady determination, I have no doubt that she will steer complex political challenges with grace and persistence. She indeed has the full support of all of us. Honorable Speaker, the appointment of the Honorable Speaker of the National Assembly, Dr. Sarah Kugungelwa Amadila, her leadership reminds me of the crescent moon bear, symbolizing a courage to confront difficult truths in this House and the strength in guiding us through honest and often challenging political discourses that may still be unfolding in this august House. And as she upholds this integrity of this House, we wish to let her know that she has our support. I also wish to extend my congratulations to our Right Honourable Prime Minister, a humble man, Dr. Elian Gurare, a man of deep vision and empathy, who truly sees people with his soul. Honourable Deputy Speaker and honourable members of this House, today I wish to honour those who shaped me. Karasburg, my late mother, Maria Klute, also affectionately known as Sudus or Masudus, my grandfather Max Klute, and my late Auntie Ella Brown. My mother, a domestic worker, later appointed as hostel cook, carried what I call the bone wisdom, a deep and intuitive knowledge born of struggle and experience and not of schooling. She sacrificed everything to give us a chance at education, and although she lacked material resources, she never wavered in dignity or purpose. My position in government is not a departure from her life's work, it is a continuation of it. Her hands, once cleaning the homes of others, cleared the path I now walk in government. And I carry a legacy with me, bringing her wisdom into spaces where she never entered, but where she always belonged to. And when my mother passed on while I was still young, my siblings, Nani Ellen, Utabana, Brenda, Peter, and Mike, stepped in with care and protection to shape who I am and became. In doing so, they showed what Estes called the loyalty that transcends circumstance, helping me through a difficult transition and making it possible for my education and future to take root. I am remaining indebted to my siblings. I'll also honor the love and support of my husband, Willie, and my children, Janine, Byron, Gunton, and Eunice. I carry with you my sacrifice. I carry with me your sacrifices, your strength and wisdom into every policy decision and act of service. My journey from a child who lost a mother, supported by siblings as well as my Aunt Lily and my Uncle Thomas, to a student and now a public servant is proof that like a wolf pack, we adapt and carry on, even though through profound loss. And former colleagues who have supported me in my career, I thank you. This is a shared honor that really indeed belongs to all of us. To everyone who pledged the support and prayers, and those who keep me on my toes and accountable, I truly value and appreciate you. That's the Namibian nation at last. Honourable Deputy Speaker, honourable members, my name is Sanet Lentrud Steenkamp, born in Karasburg into the Klute family. And I know what it means to be denied entry into the whites-only library, and for too long being denied access to a swimming pool, being excluded from it. I also know what it means to be young and pregnant and alone and filled with anxiety and unemployed. And I know what led me, and that is what led me to begin my teaching journey at Lordsville Secondary School in Karasburg as an unqualified but determined teacher. Although I was born in the South, the people of Oshana and Ongwena also claim me a little bit as their own. Having lived and worked there for 18 years of my professional life, I am a true and full-blown Namibian, and I'm proud of that. Honourable members, Honourable Deputy Speaker, honourable members, the scope of the newly formed Ministry of Education, Innovation, Youth, Sports, Arts and Culture is indeed multifaceted and intertwined. It's got 6 portfolios. And my Deputy Minister did an excellent job. Well done, Honourable Deputy Minister. And very eloquently unpacking it all. I wish to mention here that my team and I are not starting from scratch. I'm also indebted to the late Honourable Katrina Hanse Himarwa and my other predecessors. And I acknowledge and sincerely thank the Honourable Esther Anna Nipondoka, Honourable Ita Kanji Murangi, and Honourable Agnes Chongarero for their pivotal leadership in guiding their respective ministries to where they are today. I recognize the immense responsibility entrusted to me and assure you and the nation at large of my commitment to serve this country unreservedly with integrity, hard work, and compassion. Honourable Deputy Speaker and honourable members, I pledge to speak truthfully and decisive in Parliament, framing compassionate policies through the lens of strength and resilience. I will relentlessly advocate for funding that protects vulnerable populations while opposing wasteful spending, even if it means challenging powerful interests. I also pledge to confront, as I did, corruption head-on, recognizing it as a threat, recognizing corruption as a threat to the well-being of our taxpayers, our communities, and the integrity of all our institutions. I remain unwavering in my determination to uphold accountability, transparency, and justice in all facets of our work. I also pledge to be always open and honest with the media and the public, irrespective how difficult it is. Honourable Deputy Speaker, honourable members, the Ministry of Education, Innovation, Sports, Arts and Culture contributes to 4 of the 7 SWAPO Party Manifesto Implementation Plan priorities. The first one is sports, the second one is youth empowerment, the third one is quality education and training and creative industries. Now, what does that say? Despite ongoing challenges, such as teachers facing multiple obstacles, inadequate sports infrastructure, underfunded leagues, poor school discipline, low academic performance, fragmented youth programs, and outdated facilities. Hold on. The ministry is driving reform, and I will unpack that in the budget speech, including the 10 levers of change as per the National Conference of 2022. And central to this is the Project Charter, a detailed roadmap, Mr. Deputy Speaker, for improving all education sectors, including the formulation of early childhood education and total takeover by the ministry. Our guiding motto, Foundation First and Excellent Always, reflects our belief that strong foundations lead to better outcomes for learners, athletes in our society. To address some of these, we have introduced and launched our Accelerated Infrastructure Development Plan. Over the past 3 years equally, we provided 53 principals positions, 325 HOD positions, and 1,707 teachers' positions, and that was with the main aim to decongest the overcrowded classrooms. It's an ongoing assessment that we make with our regional directors, and we address it as it surfaces. We are equally particularly enthusiastic about the teaching professional draft bill, developed through extensive consultation, which aims to professionalize and standardize teaching, lecturing, and vocational training across the board. Honourable Deputy Speaker, honourable members, we recently launched the Namibian Arts, Culture and Heritage Policy. Now we need the strategy, and we need a strategic shift that really positions arts, culture and heritage as vital drivers of our economic development. And institutions of higher learning must become active players in the creative economy by integrating heritage across disciplines, encouraging collaboration between arts and business faculties, and treating creative expression as a source of sustainable livelihoods. Many members have already said many things about this. This includes establishing creative hubs in universities, schools and communities that offers training in businesses, marketing, financial literacy and intellectual property. Recognizing of prior learning is essential to value the informal knowledge of the existing tour guides, indigenous experts and the veteran artisans by providing accredited pathways to formal qualifications. Honourable Deputy Speaker, I wish to announce that of the 24.8 billion, 18 billion goes to 33,000 teachers in our country and 1/3 of learners' population, which is 896,000 learners in 2,036 of our schools. These are huge numbers, but I'm ready to come and unpack this, Honourable Deputy Speaker and Honourable Members. While I recognise the need for increased funding to boost research and drive innovation, and also the introduction of studies linked to energy, AI, robotic, oil, gas and marine studies, I fully support the national budget. And I commend the Minister of Finance, Honourable Erica Shifuda, for a skillful and balanced approach in delivering an inclusive and timely budget. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. That said and done brings us to the end of business. I take note that, announcement. Yeah. Honourable members, we take note of the Thursday engagement. There is a line of thought that we wanted honourable members to ponder around through the relevant committee that is there, the Chief Whip. We wanted to bring the sitting of Thursday afternoon to Thursday morning so that we can have enough time. So it's something that we will formally make an announcement of it tomorrow. And I said, as we conclude, I take note of Honourable Ayub and Honourable Lucato, and also I think on the list I've seen Honourable Karonda. We'll see how to slot in terms of moving forward. That said and done, I will now ask the Right Honourable Deputy Prime Minister, because I'm Deputy, that's why, Prime Minister to adjourn the House.
The House stand adjourned to tomorrow at 14:30.